Morning, everybody, and everybody here and online as well. That's a book, then. Lethal weapon, but two lethal weapons. I'll leave this one down for now, and then this lethal weapon. Right. So, who's the first one? I give me their money. Put the cover on it in case I cut myself. No, this is. We thought today's about fear. And this is a true story. Years ago, we were at Harry Ramsden's. I don't know how you remember Harry Ramsden's up in Yorkgate. We were up one night waiting in the queue to get the fish and chips. And in the background, I saw this man in with one of the women at the till. And I thought, oh, he must know her and he's messing about with her. He was messing about with her. The next thing, he comes out, gets over the counter, and he has, of course, a knife in his hand. And the queue just separated, and he ran. And the next thing, the boys were out over the counter. The boys that worked in the back, they were out over him to chase him. And somebody said in the queue, Harry Ramsden can afford to lose the money. We can't afford to lose our lives. And it was very true. And it was in the newspaper a wee while later about it. Don't know whether they caught the boy or not. But so some people have a fear of animals. Some people they don't like dogs. Different things like that. Some people have a fear of heights. Some people are better than maybe having a fear of heights because it's not the safest place to be at in places. Some people have a fear of people. Because sometimes you see people and you think, oh, they're not maybe that nice. But when you get to know them, they're fine. Some people have a fear of death. A lot of people have a fear of death because they don't know what's happening, what the end is. We know what the end is. I'd just like to share a few verses out of the Bible. And the first one is in Proverbs chapter 9, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. The Bible tells us that the fear of the Lord is the beginning. So if you fear the Lord, it says in the Bible, tells us in the Bible that it is the fear, that is the beginning of wisdom. Which is good, because sometimes, I don't know about you, before I became a Christian, I didn't really know to fear the Lord, really, because I didn't understand what it meant to be a Christian or anything. But the Bible tells us the fear of the Lord. So you need to believe in God first. You need to believe that there is a God first. So I would hope and pray that everybody who's listening to me does believe that there is a God and that they will fear the Lord, but not in a fearful way that you're scared to talk to God or anything like that. Psalm 103, verse 11, Psalm 103, verse 11 tells us, for as the heaven is high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward them that fear him. So God, He has mercy for us that fear him. And he does love us because the Bible tells us he does. 2 Timothy 1, verse 7 tells us, For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So God doesn't give us a spirit of fear whenever we trust in him. He loves us and he will help us, and he'll take away the fears we have of this life and the future life too. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 31 says, it is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. And I hope and pray that everyone who's listening doesn't fall into the hands of the living God if you're not a Christian. And finally, in Psalm 23, verse 4, This is a well-known verse. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So the Bible tells us that God, even though we have troubles, and we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and we walk through troubles and everything, we're not to fear evil. We're not to fear anything, because God is with us. Now, even in verse on down, chapter 23 of Psalms, Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And I hope everyone listening can say those words, and will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen.